off my team. Now you're out here flexing. I've been getting it in, leaving haters guessing.
Welcome to Kitty Chronicles, and if you tuned in, then you're in the right place to find out what you need to know, what you ought to know, and probably want to know. I'm your girl Kia Neve, and these are my panelists. We have Josh, Miss Omai, Nan, and tonight we have a special guest, my homeboy Biscuit.
Hello.
Tonight we have a serious topic going on. We're going to talk about the injustice on the case of Trayvon Martin. As you all know, if you don't know about the case, it's a case going on where a young man was actually murdered by a man named George Zimmerman, and he was not arrested for it. And they're going back and forth with reasons of why he's not being arrested for it. But at the end of the day, we are Trayvon Martin, and we feel that he needs to be locked up. So tonight we're going to discuss about the injustice first. Biscuit, would you like to?
Well, I just like to start off with talking about justice, because a lot of people have kind of a warped view of what justice is. They kind of equate justice to satisfaction, and true justice doesn't always satisfy you. It's not going to always give you the outcome that you want. And that's a quote from one of Atlanta's favorite sons, Marvin Arrington. And when people are doing these protests, they don't really need, in my opinion, they don't really need to push for a conviction. They need to push for a thorough and accurate investigation, you know, and if the fruit born from that is a conviction, then so be it. But you should want the truth, and
I agree with that.
that's what it should be.
So for those of you all that's watching that may not know what actually happened, does anybody want to share like what actually happened to Trayvon?
Well, from what I gathered from different sources, unfortunately, about a month ago in Sanford, Florida, a young man, Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old boy, was coming from a convenience store. He was visiting his father, came from a convenience store, having a green tea and Skittles, and he was on the phone with his girlfriend as Zimmerman spotted him, and at that time he called 911 and let the dispatcher know that he saw someone that he looked suspect, African-American male with a hoodie. To my understanding, he was wearing a hoodie to shield himself from the rain that was precipitating above him. Not trying to look like someone else or try to look like a thug. But unfortunately, Zimmerman followed him as the dispatcher told him not to follow him. He did it, took it into his own hands to follow him. And unfortunately, they tussled, and from what witnesses said, the boy was at the bottom as Zimmerman's hand was on top, and there were more than one shots fired. And the 911 call, you do hear him crying help for his life. Someone help me, please. And it sounded like a little boy, unfortunately. It's very sad, and the part that's most heartbreaking is that the father had to tell this to his wife, that his son was dead, you know, in his care, that his son did not come back home.
But what the messed up part about it is, the police told the father that Trayvon walked up to this man and basically brutally attacked him, and when they tussled, he put his hand over his mouth and was like, "Shut the fuck up." And then he proceeded to shoot him, and when Zimmerman shot Trayvon said, "Oh, you got me."
Yeah, so
that sounds like a made-up story, straight up.
The man is over 100 pounds bigger than him.
Right.
28 years old versus a 17-year-old.
First of all, who in the hell
Says
if they
got
get
me.
shot gonna say
You
got me.
Right.
That's not even a good line.
And then he said that he was bruised up and nose broken, all types of stuff.
But the video of him showing going into the police precinct,
no bruises,
no
bruises, no
blood,
no anything.
No.
But I mean, they were trying to say that if 911 tells you don't follow somebody, don't follow them.
Right.
And they're trying to go by that so-called
law that they have down there.
Okay.
That they did pass up here, unfortunately, where firearms can be carried on campus, on the MARTA bus. So now our kids, and now it's like you're fearing for your kid.
But he shouldn't have had a firearm anyway, because from what I heard, he was a convicted felon.
Oh, and had already assaulted a police officer previously.
And also had a restraining order from his baby mama.
Yeah, he's been in the system. At first it was he was doing self-defense and he had a clean rep. And then it came out that, well, he's been through so much, but what some people don't know is that Zimmerman's parents both were in the judicial system.
Yep. Father's a judge, mama's a clerk.
Exactly.
Wow.
So they may play a part as to
Major part.
yeah.
I think they
Why?
changed the story around too. I think they're trying to say that like Zimmerman was walking away back to his car, like the police dispatcher told him, and then Trayvon came up to him. I think that's how they're trying to flip the story.
But they're not making sense, and we're not following that.
Well, every day
It's
it's
something
different.
different.
Something different.
And
so
they're trying to assassinate his
it's
character.
like, yeah.
So
Or said that the little boy had been in trouble. But the little boy never been in trouble.
The only thing that they said he did while he was with his father in Sanford was, or wherever he was with his father when he was going to the convenience store, is because he got suspended because they found a little bag with some marijuana residue. So, but either way, that has nothing to do at all with what's going on.
Right.
Like, it's a
life
distraction.
life.
It's just a
Right.
distraction.
And he wasn't even armed, so it's
Yeah.
Right.
So my question to y'all is, how do everybody feel about stereotypes and racial profiling, basically?
It's real. It happens every day.
Every day.
I mean, it's racial profiling that happens. The police profiles red and orange. I mean, profiling happens in different areas every day of our lives.
So has anybody had any experiences? I'm gonna start with our guest tonight. You ever had a racial profiling experience?
I feel like I was stereotyped by my own people in college because when I'm from South Atlanta, and in South Atlanta during this time, it was 2003 when I first went to college. Like around here, we all had like gold teeth, wore white t-shirts. So when I went to college, that's what I had. I had gold teeth and I wore white t-shirts. So a lot of people, they had this warped view of me because I got in a couple of fights, but it wasn't like I fought every weekend or something. So by the time it came around after I ran for homecoming king, and I was a part of the first Black Caucus at Georgia Southern, and that's what people were like, oh my God, we didn't know that you could speak so well. We didn't know that you could defend your points and you wouldn't just back down. I'm like, why do you think this? I'm in college just like you. Like I've been here for 4 years, just like you, but you don't. But because of gold teeth, that I wore the major classes.
Right.
I graduated with a political science degree. So I used to go to the class with my gold teeth in. And my teachers would see me in the union, they'd be like, oh, there go my star student right there. And I wear gold teeth to class every day. But, and these are white teachers that looking at me smiling, but my own people is like, oh, he can't be up to no good. He wears a white t-shirt, he hangs out with thugs.
They got to stop, man.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense.
Unfortunately, my mom always said you are the company that you keep.
That's,
Birds of a feather flock together.
I don't believe that either though.
I mean, but that's what people think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what. So they see that's profiling. Oh, she hangs with a girl who is a freak, so she's a freak. That's just broad, but people do that every day, unfortunately.
I mean, y'all know some of my friends, but I don't fall in that category. Y'all know some of my friends, I don't fall in that category.
What
Y'all done known this in middle school.
That shit go on at my job to this day. Every day I go to work because most of all the chains that's around in the United States of my company, most of them are Hispanic. So it's like 65% Hispanic. So every African American that comes into the job, they try to belittle them and put them in the lower position, and then put, you know what I'm saying, put themselves in the higher position. And then they try to be bilingual and talk about it behind our back. You know what I'm saying? But they feel like we are appealing to them because, you know what I'm saying, they run the company basically. You know what I mean? So I be like, whatever. But some of them cool, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But other than that, most of the time is us against them.
That's not good though, man. I mean, when it's gonna stop? It seems like everywhere that's going on. Was speaking on a situation at my job. In my job, we do reservations, so we're on the phone. We're not face to face with the customer, but with the customer, if they, as soon as they hear your voice, it's like lights, camera, action. And I was, how may I help you? And I'm getting to the point where I'm booking a reservation, and He says, excuse me, you're black, aren't you? And it took me by surprise because I really didn't know how to react to that. But my response was, yes, I am, and very proud of it. We can proceed with the reservation. Yeah. And I'm having everything smooth, about to tell him how much it costs, and he was like, you're from the dirty South, aren't you? And I wanted to hang up on the customer just because you don't talk to me like that. It doesn't matter what race I am. I'm trying to book you a flight. Right. That wasn't professional, but at my job, of course, it's not customer service if I just release the call. So, I mean, I tried to keep my cool, but it was really upsetting because that's not the only time it happened. I had another customer to say, you niggas don't know what to do. You always messing up. That's why you're beneath us, you know? And this lady was from overseas. She was Caucasian, but I mean, my thing was I work with a lot of Caucasian people, and I don't get treated like that. So I felt like it's never going to end. It's always going to be something that somebody's going to say, regardless of, you didn't even see me, and just from my voice, because I got a country slang. It's white people that's in New Orleans got country slang. I could have been white, but just because I'm country and I may, be relaxed with my slang a little bit, it's a problem, and I'm dumb. She called me ignorant.
I had a white man call me boy. At my job.
He took you all the way back.
It took every ounce of energy in my body not to beat his ass, shot. Like, real talk, like, he was running pattern down my eye. Cause I do inventory and shit. And I told him, stop running pattern down there. He kept running. I like, bro, stop running pattern. And what you gonna do if I don't, boy? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pray on your ass, cause if I don't, fucking you up in a real talk. And the next day, he got shipped to the morning shift. And I was just like, man. Ooh.
Josh, did you have a situation?
Well, go ahead.
Well, thanks, Josh. It's so sweet of you. Ladies first. Anyway, well, I don't have anything that sticks out to me. That as far as moving, but I can say that I had something happen to someone very dear and close to me, and it was my brother. And he lived in Philadelphia, and it was him and his friend and his friend's daughter that went out bowling. Philadelphia, if you don't know, has a lot of cases where the police officers abuse their power or their authority, and have had plenty of cases where they've had to settle out of court for knocking somebody's eyes out of the eye socket, or doing just really heinous things to innocent people. Well, unfortunately, my brother and his friend had to deal with racial profiling that evening, and of course they're at a bowling alley that was predominantly white. I saw the taping myself because the lawyer finally got the taping from the bowling alley, but for over a year the police officers had the taping and would not release it, obstructing evidence. They're at a bowling alley. It became late. They wanted his friend to take his daughter home. But they did not say, it's getting late, it's 8 o'clock, or it's 8:30 on a Saturday evening, children aren't allowed here now. Instead, they started being nasty with them. Well, my brother didn't know what was going on because he wasn't even in the area where they were. He walks up on the police officers beating up on his friend in front of his 5-year-old daughter. So my brother walks up with his hands up and his ID in his mouth. Immediately, he's beaten 2 black men and 14 police officers. No lie. My brother foot was broken in half. He had to go to infirmary. He was set in jail for 2 months. The foot got infected. At this time, we're trying to contact Al Sharpton, all types of people. Like I said, this has been going on for a long time. But it took for an innocent boy's life to be taken for people to actually start caring and to start educating others about it. But this has been going on. I sat around in my house and it happened around Christmas time, not enjoying Christmas, crying and upset because I was worried about my brother who was in a jail cell for something that he did not do, just for being a black male in the wrong time. And, police officers want to take advantage of it in racial profiling. So that was something I dealt with, and that was not easy. That was something that we'll never forget, and I'm sure he'll never forget.
Oh, God. So, Josh, have you ever had a personal situation with racial profiling?
Yeah, actually, I moved to Fayetteville when I was in 7th grade, and it was a predominantly white school. And you know, you had like a small percentage of black people. And when I first came, I felt like alienated. You know, and the thing about it is, no, I have not really experienced racial profiling, but I saw it going on. You see what I'm saying? And I saw how some of the white kids would treat some of the black kids, and how, you know, how the black kids thought that they were like superior to the other black kids who wasn't in the in crowd with the white kids. You know, so I experienced that at that time, but I never really had a one-on-one experience with that type of situation. But speaking on the injustice of the whole situation, I kind of encountered that injustice with the court system against me. You know, when I was in college, it's lopsided and it's not right. You know, and basically now, being that it's 2012, it really doesn't matter whether you have money or if you don't have money, as far as the how the justice system actually treats a person. But the thing about it is that it's about who you know. And touching on what Nan said earlier about Zimmerman's parents being in the law, you know, feel already, I feel like that weighs heavily on why he hasn't been prosecuted yet.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That just goes like, okay, so saying the roles were switched, say if somebody was going to their car late at night, y'all, and if they at the car and you see a white man on the left side, you see a black man, they're gonna think that they're gonna get robbed by the black man, but in actuality, it could be the white man that can rob you. But that's just racial profiling.
Right.
That's
like
true.
it's guys that they walking around with the goals and the dreads and they look at like they're not smart. Right. They could be the ones that really pass their SATs with flying colors.
Right.
But just because they look a certain way, they're not scholars or they're not gonna be somebody. But they got tattoos everywhere.
But it goes deeper than that. It's like now we're being stereotyped by our own race. Yeah. You know, which is really sad. You know.
Nan, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I was on Twitter and I just recently reached out to my followers and asked, have any of my followers ever been racially profiled? And I have a reply from Red BSOS. How you doing, Red? And she replied, yes, there were a lot of times, but one time I got blamed for something because I was the only black person around, but my friends stood up for me.
Alright. Well, I hate that happened. But I mean, at least your friend was there.
Right.
That just goes to show we need to stand up as a whole.
Right.
My next question, I want to ask our guest Biscuit, like, if the shoe was on the other foot in the situation, and it was Trayvon who did something to Zimmerman, what do you think would have happened?
Well, I don't think it's like any question in anybody's mind what would happen. He'd have been arrested. Yeah. He'd have been thoroughly questioned. He'd have been drug tested.
Right.
Instead of it just being the victim that got drug tested and not the person that did the shooting. I'm sure they would have got all types of forensic analysis, you know, if he had a bloody shirt on, because, you know, the splatter from the blood or whatnot, it'll show you how far away somebody was from the shooter. Like, they may never really know the full story because of the initial investigation was botched. Right. So, I mean, it would have been like probably as close to a textbook investigation as you can get if the shoe would have been on the other foot.
So do y'all think that's why that chief stood down?
Oh yeah. He couldn't take the heat. That's why he got a kitchen. He got out of that kitchen because he knew it was gonna be some heat. He knew that all the activists, from what I heard, the Black Panthers got 10 stacks on that man's head.
I would
really
10
I do it for $1. Really. I do it for free. 10
stacks on that man's head.
It's not quite on their head. It's like if you bring him in, they want to do a citizen's arrest. So it's not quite on his head. Because I think that would be illegal in itself.
Well, I one day during this week asked my followers, I said, if Zimmerman was African American, do you think he would be a free man? Someone said something very interesting to me. Everybody said, hell no, of course. But one person, one of my followers, at Slade the Master, hey Slade, said, ask Gucci Man about his self-defense case. From what I was told, the law down there is shoot first, ask question later, basically. If you feel threatened or anything, you shoot first, unfortunately. And then that was passed here. And this case happened after that was passed. I'm wondering if this would have happened before, would they have passed this law?
But what's getting on my nerve, y'all, is the fact that the boy didn't do nothing. He was just coming from the store. How can you say you doing? You're following him. He wasn't following Zimmerman. Zimmerman was clearly, you on the phone. The dispatcher hear him. We heard it. It's recorded. I'm on the phone. Are you following him, sir? Yes. We do not need you to do that. So it's clear that he was harassing him.
He need to go try for harassment. That's what he should have did.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up, instead of doing neighborhood watching stuff.
He called him a coon and he called him something else.
He called him coon.
Yeah, he was like, they always, I don't know.
Get away with stuff.
I don't know if it's in this exact order, but it was like, they always get away with something.
Yeah,
now, they may not have meant black people. That could have been burglars or prowlers. That could have been anything.
Yeah.
But then when I think they they either speed to take over slow. No, they take the background noise out of it.
Yep, they took the background noise out. You can hear it clear.
And he say, fucking coons.
Fucking
coons. Some people say they thought he said punks or something. Like, I don't really understand how you think that that's what he said. It's pretty clear. You know, now I don't know if it'll stand up in court or not, but it sounds pretty clear to me.
Yeah, I'm starting to get aggravated. I'm sorry. And it's killing me because when I first heard the 911 call and you hear this boy yelling for help, it don't sound like no damn grown-ass man yelling for help. They want to say it was Zimmerman. Clearly, you can tell that that is a young boy screaming for help because you got this fat-ass man on top of him and he can't move. That's the problem.
But you know what? I can say honestly.
What? I mean,
about the mother that really touched me and really brought tears in my eyes, how strong she is through it all.
She is.
And she said something that stuck out to me and that only a child of God would be able to say after losing their child, their 17-year-old child. And she said, God used our family to be an example, to show people, to show the world, to bring people together, to let them know that this is still going on and that we have to do something now. She said they used my son and my family. She said, and all I can do is go around and do as I'm supposed to do. God picked them. God could have chose, it could have been any one of us.
Right.
That's why a lot of people saying I am Trayvon, because it could have been any one of us. But God picked that family, that young boy, for their family to shine a light on an issue that really needs to be. I think honestly it's a racial tension going on with it being the 2012 election. You know, with the Republicans saying all types of foolery out loud or saying, talking and being disrespectful while the president is talking. A lot of it is racial tension, and I believe it has a lot to do with what's about to go down.
They're not saying anything because they so busy worrying about their elections and everything else.
We're
They ain't trying to. They don't want to pick sides. They don't look like they're going and picking sides.
Well, Obama, he acknowledged it.
Yeah,
only him,
he did.
but
And I
everybody
respect
else
that.
is not acknowledging
Nobody
that. But
cares.
I respect that man because he
said
said
Trayvon was his
if
son.
Trayvon was his son.
Obama, yes sir.
So I mean, I just feel like at this time we all need to stand up. It's getting old. I'm tired of it. Y'all tired of it. I don't care if I'm going to church with a hoodie on. What I'm supposed to? I'm gonna rob everybody
Geraldo punk ass got
because it was raining outside and I had my hoodie on and I came in church and rob everybody.
Who was it?
Geraldo.
He's trying to apologize now. I don't want to hear your damn apology.
That was real stupid.
They're trying to compare this case to Emmett Till case. I'm sorry.
What exactly did he say?
What he said was Geraldo is Hispanic.
Yeah.
So he you know,
Oh,
he has a
because
brown
Zimmerman
child.
is
You know what I'm saying? We black,
I
they're
thought
brown.
it
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he's of Hispanic origin too.
Okay, I thought so.
But Geraldo was basically saying that he tells his kids all the time, don't wear hoodies because of whatever. The fact of the matter is that Trayvon was walking this way.
Right.
You had to be walking behind him. Hoodie, and it was raining.
Yeah.
He was minding his own business.
Even if the hoodie makes even if the hoodie makes you a suspicious
He
character.
wasn't climbing
for some
out
odd
the
reason,
window.
the police told him,
Fuck Geraldo.
don't follow him.
Punk motherfucker.
Don't follow
him.
It's
Pretty
pretty.
So he was harassing him straight up.
Right.
I mean, what more what do they want?
So
That was a
this
stupid
goes to
comment.
show that since this law is made that we can have guns, and that the law is made that if somebody feels like they need to use self-defense, that they can use it, you better get your
So
firearms
I'm
ready.
gonna say
Because
this.
guess what? White kids are shooting at the age of 5.
Let me tell you
White little
something.
boys know how to shoot.
So
a
what
9
they're
on 40
saying
age.
is
5.
a white person or Hispanic or whatever can just walk up and do something. So now a black person can feel like, oh, I'm threatened and bust. We shouldn't get locked up
But
for
you'll
it.
never hear the end of this
We
shit.
shouldn't get locked up for
That
it.
would
then.
start a riot.
I got the perfect scenario for them because they want to. Because you know, with the judicial system, it's almost not about right and wrong.
No,
it's
not.
kind of what you can prove,
Right,
And
that's
what
all
can't be
it's about.
proven. So one of the defenses that they said might be possible is that if, because you know how the media and movies and things portray black people, they saying that okay, now in his mind, if he feels threatened by any black person, that he can use self-defense. But my rebuttal to that is, okay, every black person in the country, because of our history with white people, hell, at any point in time, we can say,
Can snap.
oh, I feel threatened because
Yes.
he's a white person,
Yes, sir.
and white people lynch black
Enslaved
people
us.
all over the
Exactly.
country.
Enslaved
And
for
so-
years and years,
Everything.
still
So-
trying to do it.
It's like you can't
Still
use
got
that
slaves
defense
kept.
because if that defense go, then you really could just go kill anybody and be like, I felt threatened.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. It's stupid.
Man, that
and
shit
don't make no
one-sided,
damn
and they gonna
sense.
forever be one-sided until we got to understand this one and
And we need to
goddamn fight.
continue to stand.
Like,
We
really.
shall.
What happened at the Capitol in Atlanta? That was love. Man, Trayvon brought out the city. People
In
came
every
from
city,
out of
New
the
York,
state
New York,
to come
they
to
did that
Atlanta.
too. It was big in New
And
York.
it was held in Florida and everywhere else,
Yeah.
like overseas. This boy name is ringing bells, and I
That's
think
good.
that even just him, it's other guys that were killed because of racial profiling, and now those stories are starting to open back up. Those cases are starting to open back
So
up,
they
and
trying to
I'm
compare
happy.
to the Emmett Till
I'm happy
case.
about it
What happened with
because there's other families that are suffering as well on top
Back-
of
back way
Trayvon's
way
family.
back in the day.
Oh.
The Emmett Till case is not a perfect parallel to the case though. It's
Yeah.
just both of them.
They just
young.
saying both on the
Young and black.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I
The
said
tension
this.
from
I don't know when it's gonna stop. I don't know when it's gonna end. But I believe if you see something going on, step in, say something. Don't just sit in your house and be like, "Oh, I think something going on."
Right.
Do something about it, because it's too late once it's done.
Right.
You can't bring them back once it's done. So if you experience anything, you know somebody experienced anything at your job, at home, at school.
It don't even have to be against black and white.
Yeah, it could,
You know what I'm
whatever.
saying? Just
Yeah.
period.
Do something about it, because if you don't, it's going to continue to go on, and it's going to be too late at the end of the day if you don't act on it. It's time for some action. Stop talking about it and be about it. Straight up.
Don't sing it. Bring it.
So, on behalf of Kitty Chronicles, we just want to say thank you for viewing. Everybody's wearing their hoodies tonight, you know, ripping for Trayvon. We are Trayvon. We love him. We pray for your family. And we're going to have tip snips right after this.
In August of 1955, Emmett Till was killed because he whistled at a white woman. Now, I'm not trying to compare the two cases of the Trayvon Martin versus Emmett Till, but some of the situations are kind of similar. Both were visiting relatives. Emmett Till, you know, he came to visit his uncle while Trayvon was visiting his father and his father's fiance. Emmett Till, however, was accused of wrongdoing. We don't know Trayvon's side of the story because he's not here. Both were murdered. In the Emmett Till case, they were acquitted. In the Trayvon Martin's case, we don't even have an arrest. So I leave it up to you to decide what's going on with these two cases. Both of them are getting an uproar. Do you believe that both of them are similar to each other? Justice has to prevail, but like we said earlier, justice is not always what you want it to be. In the Trayvon Martin case, there's a new prosecutor who's going up and taking over the case. She said she doesn't even need a jury to indict Zimmerman. We have somebody now that's going to advocate for Trayvon and speak on his behalf. So at the end of the day, we're looking for some type of justice. America, you need to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. On behalf of Kitty Chronicles, I'd like to send out our condolences to the family of Trayvon Martin and to any other family who has lost someone due to injustice. May God always keep you and shine His grace and mercy upon you. We are the voice for Trayvon Martin and any other family who has lost a dear loved one. Thank you for tuning in, and you can follow us at Kitty Litterbox on Twitter or look at our website at kittychronicles.com. See you later.
Kicked you off my team, now you're out here flexing. I've been getting it in, leaving haters guessing. Took me through the pain, left me in the rain.